As I stepped out of the car and onto the crumbling driveway, a shiver ran down my spine. The mansion loomed before me, its towering spires and turrets reaching towards the moon like skeletal fingers. I had always been drawn to the supernatural and the unexplained, and this place was rumored to be one of the most haunted locations in the country. I was here to investigate the strange occurrences that had been plaguing the mansion's owner, a reclusive millionaire named Mr. Jenkins. He had called me in desperation, begging for my help in uncovering the source of the haunting. As I approached the entrance, a chill wind blew open the creaking front door, beckoning me inside. I stepped across the threshold, my eyes adjusting to the dim light within. The air inside was thick with the scent of decay and rot. I began my investigation, searching the dusty rooms and corridors for any signs of paranormal activity, but it wasn't until I stumbled upon the hidden room deep in the basement that I discovered the source of the haunting. The room was small, with walls lined with ancient symbols and strange artifacts. In the center of the room, a large mirror hung on the wall, its surface cloudy and distorted. As I approached the mirror, I felt a sudden jolt of electricity, and the air around me seemed to vibrate with an otherworldly energy. Suddenly, a figure began to take shape in the mirror. It was a woman, her face twisted in a scream of terror. I spun around, but there was no one behind me. The woman's eyes looked onto mine, and I felt a chill run down my spine. "Who are you?" I whispered, my voice barely audible. The woman's mouth opened, but no sound came out. Instead, a low, mournful whisper seemed to emanate from the mirror itself. "Find my child," it whispered. I was taken aback. What child? And who was this woman? I searched the room, but there were no clues, no hint as to the identity of the woman or the child she spoke of. As I turned to leave, I heard the whisper again, this time more urgent. "Find my child." I knew then that I had to uncover the secrets of the mansion to find out who the woman was and what had happened to her child. I spent the rest of the night researching, poring over old records and newspapers. And then, just as the sun was rising, I stumbled upon a newspaper article from 1920. A young woman named Elizabeth had lived in the mansion with her husband and child. But one night a fire had swept through the mansion, killing Elizabeth's child and leaving her husband gravely injured. Elizabeth had been consumed by grief, and her husband had eventually had her committed to an asylum, but the article hinted at a darker truth, that Elizabeth's husband had been involved in the fire and that he had been trying to cover up his own guilt. As I finished reading the article, I heard the whisper again, this time louder, more insistent. "Find my child." I knew then that I had to find Elizabeth's child to uncover the truth about the fire and the events that had unfolded in the mansion. I searched the mansion from top to bottom, but there was no sign of the child's remains. And then, just as I was about to give up, I stumbled upon a hidden room deep in the attic. Inside, I found a small ornate box adorned with the same symbols I had seen in the hidden room. As I opened the box, a faint whisper seemed to emanate from within. "Mama's here," it whispered. I was taken aback. What did it mean? And then, as it looked closer, I saw a small golden locket nestled in the velvet lining of the box. Inside the locket, a photograph of a young child smiled up at me. It was Elizabeth's child, the one who had died in the fire. I felt a lump from in my throat as I realized the truth. Elizabeth's husband had indeed been involved in the fire, and he had been trying to cover up his own guilt. But Elizabeth's spirits had never rested. She had been trapped in the mansion, searching for her child and seeking justice for the wrong that had been done to her. As I closed the box, the whispers seemed to fade away, and the air in the room seemed to grow still. I knew then that I had uncovered the truth, and that Elizabeth's spirits could finally rest. But as I turned to leave, I caught a glimpse of myself in a mirror, and for a moment I could have sworn that I saw Elizabeth's face staring back at me, her eyes filled with a deep and abiding sorrow. I spun around, but there was no one there. The mirror seemed to ripple and distort, as if the glass itself was liquid, and then everything went black. When I came to, I was lying on the floor, my head throbbing with pain. The room was quiet and still, the only sound the creaking of the old wooden floorboards. I stumbled to my feet, my mind reeling with questions. What had happened? Had I really seen Elizabeth's face in the mirror, I knew then that I had to get out of the mansion, to leave its dark secrets behind. I stumbled through the corridors, desperate to escape. But as I reached the front door, I heard a faint whisper in my ear. "Thank you," it whispered. I spun around, but there was no one there. The whisper seemed to come from all around me, echoing off the walls. And then I was out of the mansion, stumbling through the darkness, desperate to escape the secrets that lurked within. I never went back to the mansion, never uncovered the rest of its secrets. But I knew that I had uncovered the truth and that Elizabeth's spirits could finally rest, or so I thought. Years later, I received a package in the mail. Inside, I found a small ornate box adorned with the same symbols I had seen in the hidden room. I opened the box and a faint whisper seemed to emanate from within. "Mama's here," it whispered. I knew then that Elizabeth's spirit was still out there, watching and waiting, and I knew that I would never be able to escape the secrets of the Whispering Mansions.